You walk into the room, and before you say a word, your cockatiel notices you. The crest rises, the body pauses, and the eyes follow your movement. A moment later, the feathers settle again. It may look like a tiny change, but your cockatiel's crest rarely moves without a reason. Most people think the crest is only decoration. They see it standing tall and assume the bird is happy. They see it pressed flat and assume the bird is angry. But the truth is more subtle. The crest is part of a larger emotional language, and it only makes sense when you read the rest of the body. The eyes, wings, posture, breathing, sounds, and direction of the body all matter. A raised crest can mean curiosity in one moment and fear in another. A lowered crest can mean relaxation, irritation, or a request for affection. The position is important, but context gives it meaning. Today, you are going to learn what the most common crest positions may reveal about attention, comfort, fear, excitement, trust, and warning. You will also learn which changes should never be ignored, because sometimes the quietest signal is the one that matters most. The fully raised crest is the easiest position to recognize. Every feather points upward, making your cockatiel appear taller and intensely alert. Something has captured its attention. It may be a sound from another room, a shadow crossing the wall, a new object, or a sudden movement from you. A fully raised crest does not automatically mean fear. It often means your cockatiel is gathering information. If the body remains loose, the wings rest naturally and the bird leans forward. Curiosity is more likely. Your cockatiel is asking in its own way, "What just changed?" You may see this when you bring a new toy near the cage. The crest rises, the neck stretches, and your bird studies the object from different angles. It may step closer, move away, then look again. Your cockatiel is measuring shape, color, movement, and predictability before deciding whether the object is safe. The same raised crest can mean something different when the body becomes rigid. If your cockatiel stands very tall, presses the wings tightly to the body, widens the eyes, and appears ready to escape, the bird may be startled. The crest still shows attention, but the posture tells you that the situation feels dangerous. Your response matters. A curious bird may benefit from slow exploration, but a frightened bird may need distance. If you push the object closer or reach suddenly, you can increase the fear. The crest is not asking you to guess. It is asking you to observe. A gently raised crest is softer. The feathers lift without standing completely upright. You often see this when your cockatiel notices you approaching, hears your familiar voice, or expects something pleasant. Imagine walking toward the cage in the morning. Your cockatiel turns, raises the crest halfway, moves closer, and makes a quiet sound. The bird has recognized a familiar sequence: your footsteps, your face, the time of day, and the possibility of interaction. This position can feel deeply personal because it often appears when your presence has become meaningful. Your cockatiel is not only noticing that someone entered the room, it may be noticing that you entered. The neutral crest is easier to overlook because nothing dramatic appears to be happening. The feathers rest at a natural angle. You may see this while your cockatiel eats, preens, rests, or quietly watches the room. The lack of drama is the message. Your bird does not currently detect an urgent threat. The environment feels predictable enough for normal behavior. For a prey animal, predictability is closely connected to safety. When your cockatiel remains near you with a neutral crest, relaxed feet, soft eyes, and loose body feathers, it may be showing more trust than when it performs a trick. Trust is often quiet. It can look like eating near you, turning its back, or resting on one foot. The tightly flattened crest is one of the most important positions to understand. The feathers press close to the head. sometimes making the cockatiel's profile look unusually smooth. Many people call this an angry crest, but anger is only one possibility. A flattened crest may indicate fear, tension, irritation, or preparation for action. If your cockatiel leans away, stretches the body thin, widens the eyes, and searches for an escape route, fear is more likely. If the bird leans forward, opens the beak, hisses, lunges, or raises one foot, the flattened crest may be part of a warning. Your cockatiel is telling you that the distance between discomfort and action has become very small. The mistake many people make is waiting for the bite, but biting is often the final step in a longer sequence. The crest flattened, the body stiffened, the bird moved away, the beak opened. When those earlier signals are ignored, the bird may learn that subtle communication does not work. Respecting the warning protects more than your fingers. It protects trust. A cockatiel that knows you listen to smaller signals has less reason to use stronger ones. A lowered crest combined with a bowed head can mean something completely different. Your cockatiel moves close, lowers the head, angles the crest backward, and waits. In many familiar situations, the bird may be asking for gentle head scratches. The rest of the body tells you the difference. A bird requesting affection usually stays close. The body is soft, the beak is relaxed, and the head is deliberately presented to you. This behavior has a social meaning. Cockatiels cannot fully preen the feathers on their own heads. In a close relationship, another bird would help groom those areas. When your cockatiel lowers its head for you, it may be allowing you to participate in a behavior connected to trust, but even affection has limits. The crest may suddenly flatten more tightly, the body may tense, or the head may turn. Respecting that change teaches your bird that it can approach you without losing control. The crest that rises and falls quickly often appears during emotional transitions. Your cockatiel hears something, raises the crest, identifies the source, and lowers it again. Or the bird sees you with a favorite treat, becomes excited, then settles as you approach. These rapid changes show that your cockatiel is processing information in real time. You may even notice the crest rise when your hand approaches and lower when the movement becomes familiar. Not every unusual crest position carries a hidden emotional meaning. The feathers may look uneven after sleep, bathing, preening, or molting. Good observation does not mean turning every feather into a secret code. Context matters. Has your bird just woken up? Is the crest wet? Is a new feather growing? Emotional interpretation becomes more reliable when the crest changes directly in response to something happening nearby. At night, the crest usually settles into a neutral or gently lowered position. The body becomes softer. One foot may disappear into the belly feathers, and the head may turn toward the shoulder. If the crest suddenly shoots upward after the lights are low, something may have interrupted that sense of safety. Cockatiels can experience night frights. If this happens, avoid rushing toward the cage. Speak softly, provide gentle light, and give your bird time to recognize the room again. The crest becomes especially important when it appears alongside a sudden change in normal behavior. If your cockatiel usually greets you with a gently raised crest but now remains flat-crested, withdrawn, unusually still, or unwilling to interact, the issue may be more than mood. A crest alone cannot diagnose illness, but a sudden change combined with reduced appetite, unusual breathing, prolonged fluffing, low activity, or changes in droppings deserves attention. The warning is not one isolated position. The warning is inconsistency. You know how your bird normally responds. When that familiar pattern disappears, your observation becomes valuable. Your cockatiel's emotional life does not exist in one feather position. It exists in patterns. The crest rises when you enter, relaxes when you speak, lowers when the bird wants affection, and flattens when it needs distance. Taken together, those moments tell a story. Your cockatiel has learned your rhythm. It recognizes familiar movements, predicts what usually happens next, and connects your voice with previous experiences. Every time you respect a warning, respond calmly to uncertainty, and allow your bird to choose whether to approach, you teach it that communication works. The crest is not a magical emotion detector, but it can teach you to stop seeing your cockatiel as decoration and start seeing a small, alert mind constantly reading the room. The next time the crest rises when you enter, do not immediately call it happiness. Look at the eyes, wings, and posture. Notice whether the body leans toward you or away. Ask what changed and what your bird may be trying to understand. The next time the crest lies flat, do not assume your cockatiel is being difficult. It may be frightened, overstimulated, irritated, or asking for distance. And the next time your cockatiel lowers its head and waits near your hand, remember what that moment contains. A prey animal is making itself vulnerable beside you and allowing you near feathers it cannot fully groom alone. Your cockatiel's crest has been speaking every day. It speaks when the room changes, when your voice is recognized, when the lights go out, and when your bird decides it is safe enough to relax. You may have thought you were simply watching feathers rise and fall, but your cockatiel has been showing you attention, uncertainty, comfort, warning, curiosity, and trust in movements that last only seconds. Now you know what to look for. And the next time that crest slowly rises as you walk into the room, you may realize that your cockatiel is not just looking at you. It is recognizing you, reading you, and deciding what your presence means in that moment. Tell me in the comments what your cockatiel's crest does when it sees you. Does it rise immediately, relax when you speak, or lower when your bird wants affection? The smallest movement may reveal the part of your relationship that words could never explain.